All right, boys and girls, we're back with another video on the Tom Dark channel. I'm your host, Tom Dark. I'm proud to report I have not been gooning lately, but someone who has been gooning is MrBeast. He's the greatest gooner of all time. I mean, he's doing marathons, okay? He can't stop gooning.
This one's for you. It's the micro penis cure.
Oh, this doesn't need to be on camera though. I just need this.
Was that not for the video?
No, this is just for me.
And his biggest critic is Dogpack404. He's an ex-employee of MrBeast who's released multiple videos that are very, very extensive about the MrBeast company with a wide variety of allegations. But for the most part, in the first two videos he dropped, they were more substantiated allegations, right? There was some proof, there was some evidence behind them, and all of that has kind of changed with this new video he released titled MrBeast Secret CEO. And I'm honestly surprised that more commentary channels aren't calling out portions of this video and they're just instead uncritically repeating what he said here, because it's not good. And even if you want to frame it as allegations, like making an unsubstantiated allegation is not good in my opinion. This is like what I've built my fucking shit off of. That's bad. But let's get into the actual video. So he opens the video saying that everything in the video is alleged. It's all allegations, as I said.
Everything in this video is allegedly. This video is not monetized. It's for educational purposes only. This is matters of public interest. I'll put a full disclaimer on the screen. But yeah, here's the video.
And he then moves on to discussing James Warren, the CEO of the MrBeast company. The video centers around James Warren because of allegations of sexual assault and cover-ups regarding the same topic, specifically related to another man named LaKoya Hill, who is pictured here on the left. Swag, super swag turned up with him, as you can tell. And LaKoya Hill also worked at the MrBeast company as the COO. So let's see what Dogpack had to say about James Warren.
I heard that he's very aggressive. I've heard him referred to as a psychopath who screams at people and hits his girlfriends.
Now, this is a very, very big claim, and Dogpack says this is what he's heard about James Warren, okay? And he seems to believe it, given that he's saying it in a video, and he's, you know, making the allegation directly himself, right? And his proof is one DM message. That thing you see there on the screen, that is the proof, apparently. This is it. I'm sorry, but if you're gonna make a public allegation like this about someone, and also publicize it currently to 2 million people, I'm gonna need some proof, or at least I'm gonna need some deeper analysis into this to see what's going on and say, you know, not just be like, this is all allegations. Instead, you have to be like, there's literally no proof for this. This is unverified. I have no idea if this is true. This is just what some random person said that talked to me, and I have no proof for it. That's what you have to say. I mean, he published this to an army of people who already hate MrBeast, and justifiably so for a lot of reasons in his previous videos, and they want to see his entire career die. Do you think that the way this is going to be read by these people is going to be, oh, this is just an allegation? No, the way it's going to be read is not going to be, oh, we need to wait for more evidence, you know, I feel bad for James Warren. No, it's going to be, he is working for MrBeast, therefore he is, you know, beating girls. The conclusion of in the audience is going to be James Warren hit his girlfriend despite the fact that there's no proof of it. But Dogpack says he's going to be looking further into this case with these court cases. Apparently he has some court cases he's researching. So let's see what he says there.
There's allegedly domestic violence charges that were filed against him. And I say allegedly because it turns out there's a lot of people in North Carolina named James Warren who assault their girlfriends, I guess. So I'm still having people look into these cases, specifically that surprise witness on YouTube. She's been super helpful in like behind the scenes, just submitting freedom of information requests and just helping me out a lot in general.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You have the world's eyes on you right now. Well, the YouTube world. You've heard from a source somewhere that James Warren hit his girlfriend, and you heard there's a court case about it. And your response to that is to publish this video, this half-baked video with no evidence, and you didn't even look into the court cases.
Oh no.
He does say he'll be looking into it more to see if the allegations are true, and that's fair enough, but do that behind the scenes. Don't make a video accusing him of beating girls and then have literally no proof to show for it. Just get the proof, get him dead to rights. Wait till you have it. Now, we don't know what's going to be in those court cases, and neither does Dogpack. You know, maybe James Warren did actually beat this girl, and maybe there's more proof that we should know about. And if he did, he deserves to be called out. And MrBeast hiring him is definitely bad if that's true. But that's a big if, because we don't fucking know. Frankly, what I think Dogpack should have done here is waited to make this video once he had looked through the court cases, instead of publishing an unsubstantiated claim pushed by one random message from someone that I don't even know who this person is. Dogpack claims they worked at MrBeast. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say they probably did. Who is this? Who is this person? There's no proof. Do they have proof? No. It's not in the video at the very least. Do they have a source? Has this person seen the court cases? Have they talked to his ex-girlfriend, apparently, who got hit? Like, there are so many questions here, and I feel like none of them are being asked based purely on the fact that James Warren worked for MrBeast and MrBeast sucks. Therefore, let's just run with it, right? Like, if I had done this, if I had made this video about some YouTuber and said, yeah, I got a DM saying that he beat his girlfriend. I don't have any proof for it. I'm still looking into the court cases, but I personally think it happened. Like, you would call me the entire audience would be like, what is wrong with you? So Nick DiOrio started questioning some of this stuff on Twitter, and when I say questioning, I mean criticizing Dogpack a lot. And then he managed to find a clip where the surprise witness, the person that Dogpack personally shouts out in the video as someone looking through the cases for him, said this.
One of the things that these people are alleging, or one of these people has alleged to Dawson, is James Warren, this guy we just talked about, the secret CEO, had committed some type of domestic incident, some type of harm onto a girl that he was dating. I did look into this, and I went into it thinking he had done that, okay? I went into it thinking he did it, and I'm just gonna have to find the paperwork for it. I searched and searched and searched, and there was one case number I looked into. Again, I could probably make a whole video on this, but suffice it to say that I do not think that the case number that is associated with this picture right here, and I told Dawson this, and that's why he said this in the video, I do not think that this particular case is the same James Warren.
Bruh.
For many reasons. Like I said, I did a few hours of research just into this case alone. I was in the property records. I was on Facebook looking people up. I was doing all kind of looking at the marriage records in the newspaper. I just don't think this is the same James Warren. It doesn't even appear that this James Warren is even related to this James Warren that we're talking about. And there's it's a common name. James, a very common name. We have 11 Jameses and Jakes just at the MrBeast company. So I don't think that that is him. So I am not prepared to make the allegation that he committed some type of domestic incident that has been put on the record because I've not been able to find that. As Dawson said, I do have a couple of requests out for different stuff, and we will see. To me, that's not the most important thing. There's other stuff to look into, and that has to do with this big court case where someone went to prison for fraud for 10 years. So let's just hold our horses till we get to that.
I got the horses in the bag. Horse stock is attached.
So here, the surprise witness says that she looked into it, and the court case that Dogpack cites in his video was not about James Warren from MrBeast. What? That does not look good. That looks really bad. But Dogpack would respond directly to Nick on Twitter, so let's see what he said before we get too ahead of ourselves. So he said, when did I say she was my source? Why would my source be someone who never worked at Beast? The specific case she's referring to, I got from another journalist, and I didn't include it in my video. I think she's mistakenly believing I got it from someone at Beast. I have heard domestic violence claims against James from several former employees. Some claim to have witnessed it firsthand. As with anything, it's possible my sources are wrong, but people swear it's true, so I put the claim with the clear disclaimer that it's not proven. And yeah, he's right, he did say it's unproven, but I personally believe that you shouldn't be publicizing allegations like this unless you're able to prove them. Like, sure, you can talk about the existence of allegations. In a lot of my videos, I say, here's an allegation someone made, I don't know what the fuck happened, it is what it is. And that's totally fine. But Dogpack is the one making this allegation. He pulled it from a private source that we can't talk to, we don't know who they are, we can't verify their identity, and he's now saying, hey guys, this person said this, I'm gonna put it out there. Still looking into the court cases, I haven't seen that yet, so I have no idea if he actually did it. But by the way, here's 2 million people, this guy beat his girlfriend according to this person. Like, do you really think that his audience is gonna be like, well, let's wait for the evidence? No. His audience hates MrBeast, the entire audience is built off of that, and that's fine. I don't like MrBeast, but their prerogative is, let's see this guy's entire company burn to the ground, everyone involved is probably evil. Dogpack is going after the biggest YouTuber in the world, and I actually have a lot of respect for him, and I don't think he's a bad person. I don't think he had ill intent with the way that he published this. I'm gonna give him that, but I don't think just saying like it's alleged is enough, honestly. I see this as very, very sloppy journalism. And honestly, videos like this will really throw a huge wrench into this entire case once MrBeast responds. Because what he can say is this guy published an unsubstantiated allegation with literally no proof. Even Quinn Theo, someone who's been a big supporter of Dogpack, admitted that this looked pretty bad.
Well, that's holding a bit more water, but since there are multiple cases and we don't actually know if they are legitimately the James Warren that is, part of the MrBeast company, I don't think that it's fair to, make those claims just yet. It probably shouldn't have been included in the video just to avoid, allowing detractors to use that to say that you are setting this up to put him in a negative light.
And Quinn is kind of right. This was a bad move, but at the same time, he's also wrong. This is not only a bad move because it could help MrBeast or something like that, or detract from the verifiable claims. That is true. It definitely will do that, but that's not the only wrong move here. This is a wrong thing to do because it is, by definition, Dogpack publishing a baseless allegation against a man who's potentially innocent of these crimes with no further elaboration, proof, really anything, no direct testimony from anyone. It's just this random DM that's like as short as possible saying this guy beat his girlfriend. Like, why even include this part in the video if you don't have proof? He admits in the video he's still looking into it and he doesn't even know himself, so fucking look into it. Now, Nick responded to this as well, and he said, just to be clear, allowing detractors to use that is not the reason why Dogpack should have avoided posting needless, unverified evidence in a takedown piece. You should want to be thorough, especially about something that exists as a public record. That's what integrity is, and I completely agree. If it's public record, if the court case is public record, why not just look at the court case once you have it from the Freedom of Information Act request and then publish that once you have it. You could have just basically slandered a man in effect. Now, Dogpack here responded in reference to the surprise witness, kind of claimed that, you know, she herself seemed to disagree with his interpretation and him publishing this at all. And he said, I never mentioned the case I sent her in my vid. There are hundreds of the state of North Carolina versus James Warren cases. Here are the 6 criminal court cases under the correct James Warren, censored addresses and social security numbers. Could be traffic tickets, could be murder. I'm still waiting on the FOIA request that will take weeks, not days. I agree the phrasing and plug was bad, but you're exaggerating to make a mountain out of a molehill, in my opinion. Multiple former employees told me there were domestic violence charges filed by James's ex-girlfriend. They are my sources, not the surprise witness. They could be wrong. Maybe it was a police call, maybe it was nothing. Maybe they also found the case I sent TSW and mistakenly believed it was the same James Warren. Charges also don't mean conviction. I was just saying, here's where I'm at currently. This person will have the updates. Whatever those updates are, I'm fine with. I've interacted with James firsthand, and I've heard enough testimony to form my own opinion on him. This honestly makes it even worse, because what Dogpack is saying here is, hey, I'm making this allegation about this guy. If you want to find out the truth about it, go talk to this other channel. Like, I feel like if you're going to make an allegation about someone publicly or publish allegations, you have some responsibility probably to do some kind of follow-up, like clarifying it to your audience so they're not misled into thinking that this guy beat his girlfriend. Like, am I supposed to believe that every person who watched that Dogpack video also subscribed to the surprise witness is going to do their due diligence with this case? I think that's ridiculous. I could always delay for more info, submit more FOIA requests, interview ex-girlfriends, whatever. I'd rather just open it up to the public while being transparent that nothing is proof so I can work on other things. I think that you should not be making an allegation publicly about someone and then saying, I'm going to work on other things, like stepping aside from that allegation, being like, I've got more important things to work on. That's bad. That's bad. Imagine if I on YouTube was like, hey guys, you know, this person came to me, they told me that, you know,
Tarted Jerker was gooning all day.
Constantly, you know, it's disgusting, frankly. You know, I'm not going to look into it anymore. I personally believe it just because of my personal experience. You know, I'm saying it's true. But, you know, you can go to this other channel that, frankly, publicly has disagreed with me for that. Like, what? What? I'm confident my video will age well and LaQuoya and James will be let go from MrBeast. I don't disagree. It's very possible that LaQuoya and James Warren could be let go from MrBeast, but as for if it has anything to do with what he's talking about here in this allegation, I honestly don't know. And, you know, on one hand, this response does provide a little bit more insight into Dogpack's kind of state of mind when making this video, but at the same time, I have to repeat again here for the 5th time, why make an unsubstantiated allegation when you're able to look through the proof basically right now? And when I say right now, I mean within like a few weeks, because court documents can take a while. But why not just like get the proof for this, like he did with Delaware, the registered sex offender who was working at the MrBeast company that he, you know, called out in his other video. He had proof for that. He had the guy's face. He had the court case. He had what the court case was for. And that was good. That was good journalism, I would say, because he heard an allegation, he substantiated it, and he published that, right? He had the proof. For James Warren, literally all we have is one DM screenshot of someone saying that he beat his girlfriend. Now, Dogpack claims he's talked to multiple employees of the company, and they said the same thing. Maybe that is the case, but rumors can also spread like wildfire. Maybe one person at the company doesn't like James and told a lie, and this was spread around the office to the point where multiple people had the same story, even though it was wrong. I'm not saying that's definitively the case, because I don't know. The point I'm making is that I don't fucking know what happened. Dogpack cannot know what happened because he doesn't have the case, and neither does the audience. I think that I should be applying the same standard here that I would apply with every other allegation made about a public figure to MrBeast company and James Warren. I don't believe allegations until I see proof. And on one hand, Dogpack says he's open to the idea that James Warren is not guilty of this, which is, you know, great. But is he really, when he kind of contradicts himself, saying, I personally believe it? I mean, I'm open to it not being true, but I personally think he did that. Like, off of what basis of any evidence for your claims do you believe that? And do you really think that the audience is going to feel the same way? At the end of the day, when you're like publishing videos like this to the public, right, about this kind of case, you kind of have a level of obligation to research these cases. And I think that, frankly, publishing an unsubstantiated allegation about someone and not questioning its veracity, and even saying things like, well, I've personally interacted with James firsthand and I've heard enough testimony to form my own opinion on him, which is clearly implying that you think it happened. That basically confirms that Dogpack believes this to be the case, and he believes it with no proof whatsoever. Dogpack essentially said, like, hey bro, I heard you beat girls. I'm still waiting on the court documents, the FOIA requests on that, but you know, I'm gonna alert all my followers already in the meantime about the fact that I personally think that, even though I have no proof. And you know what? Maybe James Warren is guilty. Maybe he did hit his ex. Maybe he did worse. Maybe he personally threw every single minion, including Bob, into the incinerator and they all died a horrible death, and Gru is still heartbroken over it. I don't know the guy. I don't have any stake in this fight. If he turns out to be guilty, great. No harm to him personally was due if he did it. But right now, Dogpack doesn't even know if he did it. He has no fucking idea. Imagine the shit that I or any other YouTuber would be in if we said, hey man, this guy Tarted Jerker, he beats girls. Okay, I heard him say it from someone who knows him. I don't know if it's true. I'm still waiting on the court documents to come through, but I personally believe it, and you should personally believe it too. I see it as very sloppy journalism, frankly, and you know, it's disappointing because, you know, over the course of these videos, I've come to like Dogpack and some of the work he's been doing, but I see this as cringe to say the least. Now, Quinn Theo also had some further commentary about Diorio and what he said.
Saying this completely eviscerates your credibility is quite a bit intense. It's very clear that Diorio really doesn't trust Dogpack, and you can just pretty much tell by the vocabulary that he chooses to use when he's talking about him.
But I think the point of what Nick is saying, the point of what I'm saying, the point of the, you know, sort of detractors of Dogpack's new video, what they're saying is not that, you know, we don't trust Dogpack, right? It's not about that. It's not like a personal thing. What this has to do with is not trusting anyone unless you can prove a claim that they make. In a world where we just believe anyone based on the idea that they could be right, you allow false allegations to run rampant and allow people's lives and careers to be destroyed. Frankly, I'll stand by the same criticism I'm making here, even if James Warren turns out to be guilty based on these court cases, because you're still encouraging a culture of publishing unsubstantiated allegations with, you know, unsubstantiated means no proof. There's no proof of it. And doing stuff like that encourages bad, shitty journalism. And I do see Dogpack effectively as a journalist in this case. The way to figure out if something is true is not to read a random claim and then publish it with no evidence and never criticizing it. The way to figure it out is to look for the truth, to figure out what actually happened and what can actually be proven. And there are even a lot of people saying this video has been shadow banned from YouTube. I mean, the video has like 2 million views. I don't think it got shadow banned. If you're shocked that it didn't get as many views as the other parts of the series, maybe that's because it's mostly an unedited 30-minute diatribe with very little evidence for the claims. I would suspect it's probably something more like that.
James Warren, also allegedly an ex-drug addict. I've heard that he offered cocaine and hookers to editors to stay late.
Yeah, guys, this Dogpack guy is a really chronic gooner. I heard he goons all over the walls, and he even goons so much he almost drowned in his own goon juice. No proof for that anyway, moving on.
There was some incident between him and a female colleague that resulted in the female colleague leaving the company and receiving 3 years in severance pay. I'm still actively looking into this incident, so if you have information, let me know. But I've heard from multiple credible sources that this is true and this did happen.
Guys, I heard from multiple sources that Peter Griffin is having gay sex with Brian, the dog.
I'm gonna squeeze right in here if my thighs will let me.
He's having gay sex he's having gay dog sex. The dog is a victim. Okay, I've heard it from multiple credible sources. Of course, this is allegedly, and I don't have any proof for this allegation, but I personally believe it. Peter Griffin is horrible, but frankly, Brian deserved it. I mean, look what Brian was wearing.
Oh, for the love of penis.
Also, I should quickly clarify that a lot of this investigation is allegedly. You know, it's sort of the nature of these instances. I have a lot of testimony, corroborating testimony. But the reason I'm publishing this is that hopefully it brings more information to light.
And I'm publishing this unsubstantiated allegation about Brian in hopes someone will confirm it for me. I already have contact with multiple employees of the Griffin Company, and they told me it happened, with no proof whatsoever. And now I'm telling this to 2 million people, so hopefully someone will confirm it for me. I could be wrong, of course. Like, come on. This is not the way that you handle this. I can understand the point about wanting more people to come forward and like get more information about this, but at the same time, do you need to tell 2 million people about this claim that they are now going to believe that James Warren can hate this girl or whatever? What if Dogpack's wrong? What if it's not true? Has it never been the case before that multiple people lied at the same time? Has it never been the case that multiple people have come forward with a story they were wrong about? This is a recipe for disaster. Now, Dogpack from here on goes into detail about a former business partner of James Warren named Joshua Hutchins, who was sentenced to 10 years in prison for running a Ponzi scheme.
So before working at MrBeast, James Warren was involved in a literal fraud. In fact, he's actually mentioned in the court transcripts of this case. This is the sentence hearing for Joshua Hutchins. I'm going to highlight testimony from just one of these victims, a retirement age woman named Sylvia. She testifies, "I came to know Mr. Hutchins through a very reputable and successful real estate attorney who highly recommended Mr. Hutchins and who eventually left his agency to become the chief operating officer of Mr. Hutchins' investment firm." The chief operating officer of Mr. Hutchins' investment firm. She explains that the reason she trusted Mr. Hutchins was through the strong recommendation and endorsement from that very reputable and successful real estate agent. He represented Mr. Hutchins as highly competent and capable. He presented a successful track record and how Mr. Hutchins had delivered for other investments. On the next page, page 16, she testifies, "My trust was and has been severely violated. This is the equivalent of financial
And he goes into a lot more detail about that. And James Warren, having this guy as his former business partner, is very shady. It doesn't look good at all. But looking bad is not the same thing as being bad. And even though Dogpack has this court transcript, for some reason he is unable to produce proof that James Warren knew Josh Hutchins was a fraud, knew he was evil, knew he was running a Ponzi scheme, stealing money, embezzling funds, etc. I mean, there's literally a court case about this. Like, would James Warren not have been thrown in jail too if he committed fraud, if he did something evil? Why is he not in jail? Now, I'm not saying that everybody who commits a crime is found guilty in a court of law, or that courts are 100% reliable and never make a mistake. What I am saying here is that I have no proof here that James Warren did anything illegal, and the burden of proof is on, you guessed it, Dogpack, because he's the one making this allegation. He is the one presenting these claims. So what is his proof that James Warren knew what was going on and was complicit in this fraud and is a horrible businessman?
I personally believe that when he was working with Mr. Hutchins, he was in similar company. I think the COO of acquisitions would know and be sort of responsible for properties not being properly acquired through the court system. But again, that's my opinion. That's all allegedly.
Wow. Good job. You know, that's how I would do it too. Great research. Like, you have the court case, right? Apparently, you're looking into them and seeing what's going on here. Why not fucking wait to read through them to prove that James Warren's a piece of shit? Why not do that if you believe he is? If you have good reason to believe he is in your mind, okay, in your mind's eye, in your third eye, you know, you believe this. Why not, like, look into the court case and figure that out and publish that instead of publishing whatever the fuck this is? This is extremely sloppy journalism in the very, very best case scenario. I don't know if it qualifies legally as defamation. I can't say that, but it's just not good. It's not good. This is a really weak video so far. But I will say, to be fair, from this point on, the video does get better. But keep your eyes out, boys and girls, for unsubstantiated claims, okay? I'm like a shark for those, as you all know. And I haven't eaten dinner yet. My Indian food is sitting in the fridge upstairs, okay? It's begging me to come upstairs, and I'm fiending to feast on some Indian shit. Dogpack goes on to discuss LaQuoya Hill, someone who ran an adult entertainment thing, being very, you know, gay stuff, like Magic Mike type stuff. And he then went on to work at MrBeast.
Our party evolved into this place where, you know, you have the drag queens, the muscle daddies, the bears, the twinks, the, like, posh boy.
He then makes the case that it's weird that MrBeast hired basically the president of Magic Mike Industries to his company to make kids content. And I agree, that is weird. And he then talks about what he claims is the real reason that LaQuoya Hill was fired and how he was not truly fired.
In late 2021, he was allegedly fired for sexually assaulting his assistant. Now, I put fired in quotation marks because he was actually quietly moved to the dubbing company, which was Unilingo at the time.
He details how LaQuoya was moved to a different company after this alleged incident of misconduct, and then moved back to the MrBeast company as his COO after the fact. And for this, at least for circumstantial claims about LaQuoya moving companies and then coming back, he does have a decent amount of proof that he moved companies in the way that, you know, these people are describing. And he has no less than 6 people making the same claim about some kind of misconduct going on with LaQuoya Hill, and him then being fired and moved back to the company at a later date once the heat had died down kind of from that allegation and nobody would notice, kind of, right?
But here's the first testimony, and I'll say this person is especially credible in my opinion. I asked them, did you see or hear of any sexual misconduct at the company? They say yes. LaQuoya Hill, the current COO. In 2021, he had an assistant named victim's name. I heard LaQuoya acted very inappropriately with victim, booking hotel rooms with only one bed, walking around in his underwear, having victim come to his house and showing him his sex toy collection. Just in general, LaQuoya made victim uncomfortable. Victim started complaining to higher-ups, and a report got written. LaQuoya was put on paid leave for like a month. Then MrBeast moved him to the dubbing company, and he was hired back in 2023 and was promoted to COO, even though Jimmy, James, and Sue 100% know his history. Also, I heard that when Victim was let go, he was given $30,000 in severance. I could get you Victim's number. I don't know if he'd talk. I responded, yeah, that'd be great. Also, is there proof he moved to the dubbing company? I could look. It was the original dubbing company called Unilingo. MrBeast practically forced them to hire LaQuoya, and then they poached Unilingo's employees and copied their whole business and created Creator Global. Verified employee number 2. Asked them the same question, have you heard of any sexual misconduct at the company? They say yes, I don't know how to spell the name, but LaQuoya, something like that. He was brought in last year after having not worked there for a year or so at a very high level. I respond, LaQuoya Hill. They say the reason he had been asked to leave previously is that he had sexually harassed someone that still worked at the company when he was brought back. Yes, LaQuoya Hill. But they brought him back knowing he had sexually harassed an employee previously. And people often talk about LaQuoya making them very uncomfortable on shoots. Verified employee number 3. I'm looking into more accusations of sexual misconduct at the company, wondering if there's anything you could corroborate. Have you heard of anything about LaQuoya Hill? They respond, the old gay guy who likes to bang 18-year-old straight employees. Yeah, I've heard of him. Anything non-consensual to your knowledge? I heard he got in trouble for hooking up with his 18-year-old straight assistant, but the company kept it quiet from what I heard. He's a producer and worked in the adult entertainment before MrBeast. Yeah, LaQuoya Hill Entertainment. I heard he was fired for sexual harassment, then brought back a year later. That's what I heard too. Point number 4. Do you know who LaQuoya Hill is? Yes. And you're aware of the case that has been covered up for some time. Explain. essayed multiple people, apparently roofied multiple people as well. Verified employee number 5, I'll also say this person is especially credible, but they worked there a while ago, like 2020, 2021, around then. Okay, few things. LaQuoya sexually assaulted his assistant who was straight and LaQuoya was gay. You probably already know that, but James is best friends with him, so holy shit, was that surprising that they kept him around way longer than they should have. There were reports of him making the assistant sleep in the same room / bed with him on trips, touching him inappropriately, and dangling his job in front of him. Employee number 6, did you hear anything about LaQuoya Hill? I heard that incident happened. I heard they let him go, and I heard they brought him back and just put him in a different department. And I don't know, but I think he's working there again. Now, recently, MrBeast has let LaQuoya Hill go. They had this sort of leaked email where they say, therefore, along with Jeff Hausenbold, our new president and COO, right? Alluding to the fact that LaQuoya Hill is no longer working there. Now, I have been open with MrBeast about the fact that I was going to cover LaQuoya Hill. This is a single frame in my first video where I reference LaQuoya. He's also in my Twitter header. And I've also just told people who work at MrBeast that they have to let LaQuoya Hill go. So they did what I wanted and let him go, right? Well, just on a whim, I decided to look into the Creator Global LinkedIn, and it had gone private to where everyone just shows up as a LinkedIn member, right? But I saw this, L, LinkedIn member, president at Creator Global. I thought, you know what, that's a little suspicious. So I reached out to one of my connections close to MrBeast and I said, hey, can you look into this account for me? Because sometimes if you have connections, you can see private LinkedIn accounts. And this is what they saw. LaQuoya Hill, listed as the current president at Creator Global. No work history between graduating UNC in May 2001 and becoming the president at Creator Global in 2024. Dude, this is like the 3-cup game where you gotta like keep track of the pets and race as MrBeast just moves them between companies.
They just sort of kept moving them around. You know, like those killer whales at SeaWorld, after it kills a trainer, they'll then move it up to Seattle. They don't give them their background.
Which I heard, MrBeast or James Warren forced Unilingo to hire LaQuoya as sort of part of their partnership without, sending them the report on his alleged sexual misconduct at the company. I also have a voice memo from James Warren showing that they told Unilingo to process a $28,000 bonus for LaQuoya, which there's definitely something suspicious going on with that.
Hey, buddy, it's James. Sorry to be bothering you. I've done my absolute best not to bother you. But LaQuoya had presented a bunch of stuff to me and Jimmy a little bit ago, all really great stuff. But he had asked me and Jimmy personally, he's like, hey, can I have a $28,000 bonus for work I did in the past? And I'm like, yeah, of course, man. And the reason for that is I brought him up to my level and I don't take bonuses. So for like 2 years, he didn't get any bonuses when our guys were getting like crazy percentage bonuses. I need a favor. Sue cannot process this bonus through Beast. I need a solid. Can you please process a 28K bonus for LaQuoya? Let me know. Bye.
Now, this claim, in contrast to his stuff about James Warren, is more believable just based on the sheer volume of testimony. I'm still going to say it's alleged because I wasn't there. I have no idea what happened. And frankly, I'm not hedging my bets towards this guy at all. But at the very least, we have more proof in the form of testimony of LaQuoya moving around the companies based on his employment history and other things. That seems to line up with what people in the DM said. And then, you can go from there and say, well, there's so many people saying the same thing. It could still be the rumor mill, of course, but there is more here. There is more here than he had with James Warren, which I like to see more rather than less. And he spends the rest of the video discussing the work culture around MrBeast regarding women and how there's some misogyny, I guess, going on. I'll let you guys watch the rest of that video by yourself if you want to see that stuff. As you all know, I'm a certified incel, so I'm not the best person to talk about that. I think the takeaway I want to give from this video is not that like Dogpack sucks or is like a horrible person or I hate him. Based on the information he's released from other videos that's verified and seems to be true, I think he is doing good work and I commend him for that overall. And I think his motivations and heart are in the right place. But if he wants to put the nail in the coffin on MrBeast, videos like this in regards to James Warren, that kind of stuff poses a serious risk to his credibility and frankly, the credibility of the entire case going forward as far as MrBeast's ability to publicly respond and how this is going to be seen by the general public once he does. In the future, Dogpack, if you're watching this, I think you probably are, please prove a claim before you make it. But it's all allegations. It's all alleged. He said it's alleged. Well, yeah, but if this was any other person and not MrBeast, if a YouTuber made an unsubstantiated claim about someone with no evidence, pushed that to millions of people and didn't give any critical analysis to that at all, everyone will be dumping diarrhea down their throat, and deservedly so, because diarrhea is delicious. But that's my allegation, not yours. Anyway, I still wish Dogpack the best from this point on. I think this could be kind of a rookie mistake of this kind of situation. So, I'm giving him a little bit of leeway there that maybe I don't need to give him, but I'm giving a little bit, but I didn't like this video very much. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.